What's going on, Monday morning crew? You know what time it is. Time for Monday Morning with Mo. Happy Monday, everybody. Hope it's a great Monday morning for you. As always, we're here every Monday morning at 8 a.m. on Facebook Live, YouTube Live to answer your legal questions. If it's your first time joining us, I am Attorney Mo DeWitt, and this is Monday Morning with Mo, where you can get some free legal advice simply by giving us a call at 407-536-6737. Number's right down here somewhere. It is a voicemail line. Or you can email us, askask@dewittlaw.com. Or the easiest one of the show, just drop it in the comments down below, and we'll go ahead and answer it for you. Sometimes I give the disclaimer, sometimes I don't always see them as we're doing the show, so I might answer it later, but I'll always respond to you. Hope you guys had a good Easter weekend. We did a little Easter egg hunt with the kiddo. Nice, beautiful weather, kind of uneventful, so hopefully you guys had a nice, relaxing weekend as well. I am supposed to head down to Jamaica tomorrow with the News Junkies. If you listen to the News Junkies on Real Radio 104.1, they're going down there to broadcast, and I'm going with them. So maybe we'll do some live streams from there as well. But anyways, let's dive into it this morning. I know you don't got all day, so let's go to the voicemail lines first.
Hi, this question's regarding a couple that's been married 17, 18 years, and the house is in the husband's name. He had it prior to the marriage, but they've taken out a renovation mortgage, and of course the wife is on the mortgage or the note, whatever. And so she's wondering if when they get divorced, can she get half the house? So that's the question. Is she entitled to half the equity in the house? Thank you.
All right, great question. Question that comes up a lot in divorces, obviously. So if you own a home prior to the marriage, if it's a premarital home, basically what your spouse would be entitled to is one half of the increase in value, basically the increase in equity, from the time that you got married to the time you get divorced. So the fact that she was on the renovation mortgage, which what I'm going to guess happened there is in Florida, because of our homestead laws, if your spouse takes out a mortgage like that on a primary homestead, the other spouse has to acknowledge it. I'm guessing her name's probably not on the mortgage, but she signed to acknowledge that mortgage. So typically in this situation here, what the spouse would be entitled to is one half of the increase in value from the date they got married until the date they got divorced. Sometimes that can be a little difficult to prove. On a 17, 18-year marriage, there probably is a pretty good increase in equity there. On a 2 or 3 year marriage, it becomes a little more difficult to show. So, you're definitely entitled to some portion of the home. Probably not all of the equity in the home, but we'd have to take a look at the numbers, obviously. So, great question. Always appreciate the questions. Keep them coming. We'll go to some emails we got here. Next up, we have Stacy. Stacy says, I was rear-ended and the officer said it was my fault because I changed lanes about 2 minutes prior to the accident and the other driver didn't have enough time to stop. He had plenty of time to stop, but just wasn't paying attention. Is there anything I can do? All right. So typically in Florida, if you're rear-ended by a vehicle, the vehicle that rear-ends you is presumed to be at fault. There's a presumption. So, if this is one vehicle and it hits the other vehicle, the vehicle that rear-ended you is presumed to be at fault. So it's odd that the officer said that the person who was rear-ended was actually at fault in this scenario. So I don't know if you got a ticket for it. You can certainly challenge the ticket, go to court, explain to the judge what happened, and hopefully you'll win there and it'll be reversed. If it's a matter of who is at fault for insurance purposes, typically if you hire an attorney and they can go through the process of doing their own investigation, kind of doing an accident recreation, depending on the circumstances, they may be able to show that you are not at fault. At the very least, it may be some comparative negligence, meaning you may have a portion and the other driver may have a portion of negligence. But to find you completely at fault in a rear-end situation like that's pretty odd. So yeah, if you got a ticket, I'd definitely probably challenge the ticket. And then if there's an insurance issue, I'd probably go ahead and contact an attorney to see if they can help you with that, because it's pretty odd to be found completely at fault for a rear end situation. It does happen every once in a while, but it's kind of odd. So appreciate the question, Stacy. So if you guys have questions, you know what to do. Give us a call, shoot us an email. ask@doitlaw.com. Is the email address on the bottom thing here? No, I guess it's just the voice number, huh? Maybe we'll have to fix that. But yeah, ask@doitlaw.com, or leave us a voicemail at 407-536-6737. Next up here, we have Randy. Randy says, I have a parenting plan for my twins from 2014 in which I have primary custody, and the mother is allowed supervised visitation. She has never attempted to visit them and only called them maybe 3 to 4 times. I would like to have my current wife adopt them because, well, she is their mom. Is this something you can help us with? Okay, so in this kind of situation, typically if you're going to terminate someone's parental rights, which is what you would be asking the court to do for the biological mother, you have to show that the children have been abandoned by the parents, that they've been neglected or abused. Those are kind of the 3 categories there. If they're kind of incarcerated for a long period of time, that's another qualification. But typically, the court is only going to terminate someone's parental rights under one of those circumstances, and then they will allow a step-parent to adopt them if they're going to do that. So obviously, in this case, you'd probably be traveling under the abandonment portion of the statute. So, it's been 6-7 years now. There's really been no contact. She's only contacted them 3 to 4 times over the 6 to 7 years. I'm guessing there's probably a good reason why she has supervised visitation as well. There may be some other issues there. So, you probably have a decent argument that the kids have been abandoned by the mother. So when you go to do this action where you terminate her parental rights and have the stepmother adopt them, you do have to give the biological mother notice. And of course, at that time, it'll be determined whether she's going to contest it or not. Given that she really hasn't played much of a role in the kids' lives, she probably won't contest it, I would assume, but you never know. So that's kind of the general process, so we can certainly help you with that. Just give us a call, and we'll walk you through it from there. But, if the court finds that the kids have been abandoned by the mother, then they'll typically allow the adoption to go forward. So appreciate the question, Randy. And got one more here this morning from Carl. We'll keep it nice and short. It's kind of the same question. Carl, in the state of Florida, if a paternal parent has had no contact or inquiry for said child, do they still have parental rights? Well, we kind of just answered that. So, yeah, they do have parental rights until someone terminates them. So if they've had parental rights at any time, and that's a whole paternity issue, because remember, in Florida, if you weren't married, the father has no legal rights to the child, even if he's on the birth certificate, until a court legally establishes paternity or adjudicates him to be the father. A weird rule, I know, but that is the law in Florida. So, in this case, number one, if they were married, then they would be deemed to be the father. But yeah, if there's no contact there, they still have parental rights until someone goes to terminate them. And so again, as we just talked about with Randy, this could be deemed abandonment. And so that may be one of the reasons why the court would terminate the parental rights. So, absolutely. Still have parental rights until they're terminated. So, thank you guys for all the questions this morning. We certainly appreciate it. If you guys need anything during the week, give us a call, 866-CALL-MO. JustCallMo.com, DeWittLaw.com. You can find us out there anywhere, or just message me on Facebook. I'll get right back to you. So, have a great week. Stay safe out there, and might see you from Jamaica later this week. Take care, everybody.